Hi, my name is Hannah and this is Jar of Fireflies. Here you'll find content all about my life as an Orthodox Jewish homeschooling mother of 3. But today, we're gonna deep clean my kitchen in an all-day clean with me.
All right, so I started my day by grabbing all the supplies that I thought I would need for the day. So I've got my Meyer's Clean Day multi-surface cleaner, some stainless steel cleaner and polish, the Easy Off for my oven, and the heavy duty foaming greaser. It's by Zepp, and I use that for my stovetop, and then just a big pile of really old microfiber towels that are just amazing for cleaning. Before I could really get started though, and maybe this is getting started, I don't know, however you want to look at it, I have to clean the floor. Even though I mopped yesterday and I sweep and vacuum all the time, with 5 people living in our house and 3 of them being 6 and under, there gets to be crumbs all over the kitchen floor all the time. So because I like to be barefoot and I do not like to step on crumbs, I wanted to go ahead and start by just getting that floor nice and clean. It really just helps me feel like the whole house is clean when the floor is clean. So yeah, there we go. Especially because we're home all the time now since, quarantine. Thank you, coronavirus. We are eating snacks all the time. And yeah, there's only so many string cheeses in the fridge. So they're eating a lot of, chips and crackers and all kinds of other things. So crumbs are everywhere. But that's okay. I'm really happy that I have kids who make crumbs. So we're going to find the bright side. We're going to have some gratitude. So I ran the dishwasher overnight. Pretty much every night I run it overnight. So I wanted to go ahead and empty all of that out because there is a sink filled with dishes ready to go in there. It was really cute. My son this morning, he wakes up and he comes out and he sees me and he's like, Ema, I'm so sorry. I put a dish in the sink and I know it's just one more dish for you to wash and I'm so sorry. And I was like, dude, it's totally okay. We're going to put him in the dishwasher. And he was like, really? That's great. I don't know. He's so cute. He's really starting to have, so much empathy, and I just love that. So yeah, then I'm just reloading the dishwasher with all of our dishes. There's a few things to be hand washed, and I'm just kind of setting those aside. And if they weren't already in the side of the sink where I usually keep my hand washing dishes. Can y'all tell I'm completely starved for adult conversation because I am just so chatty today. All right, so I'm using just Cascade Complete for washing my dishes there in the dishwasher. It is what I get at Costco, so it's just what I use. Don't really have a preference there one way or another. There I am getting to work on washing the dishes by hand. I like to wash those wooden spoons by hand. They're probably fine in the dishwasher, but I don't know, who knows? And the cutting boards don't fit. And then our dairy spoons, and there's a dairy bowl in there somewhere, those don't go in the dishwasher because we only put our meat dishes in the dishwasher. And then any of our glass dishes we can put into our dishwasher. And that is for kosher purposes. Speaking of kosher purposes, that's why I'm doing this deep clean here on my kitchen in the first place. We are getting ready for Passover and we need to completely re-kosher our kitchen for Passover. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you guys the soap. I'm using 7th generation right now. But anyways, have to completely re-kosher our kitchen for Passover. And what that means basically is we have to treat the kitchen like, it's not kosher. So we have to just redo everything. So after I do all this cleaning today, I can come back tomorrow, and which by the time I post this video will be today, and I will be pouring boiling water all into the sink and all over the counters. I will be doing a self-cleaning cycle on the oven and just all kinds of things like that. And I'm also going to be cleaning out some cabinets tomorrow to put in our kosher dishes and our Passover dishes and things like that. Yes, we have a whole separate set of dishes just for Passover. We take this thing so seriously with our food. If you guys don't know, should probably explain more about Passover. We want to make sure that we don't have any chametz, that we're not eating it or picking it up or anything like that during the 8 days of Passover. So what the chametz is it's basically, breadcrumbs, cracker crumbs, things like that. Because we're gluten-free in our house, we don't have a whole lot of chametz because it has to be made of wheat or barley or certain things like that, certain grains. So since we don't have most of those in the house, we really only have our challah, which would be considered chametz. But, I have kids. They carry that around the house. It still gets everywhere. Okay, so I decided just to kind of stay on this side of the kitchen and just stay focused on getting this side done, because that will give me a great sense of accomplishment before I start on the other parts of the kitchen. But just, seeing that nice clean area. So I'm cleaning like the small appliances that we keep over in the corner, which is our hot water urn and our soda stream. If you guys don't have a soda stream, these things are awesome. They don't even plug into the wall, and they make you your own bubbly water right there. It's awesome. We love it. We use it all the time. There ended up being kind of a lot of like gook back there on that section of the counter where I kept those small appliances, and kind of our coffee stuff over there, because I don't really move that stuff very often. Speaking of not very often, this whole Passover cleaning thing, we were supposed to be out of town for Passover. Our plan was to go up to New Jersey and New York and spend Passover there. Have this whole road trip across the country, visit a bunch of national parks, and then coronavirus came and took that away. But that's okay. We're obviously meant to stay here, and that's all right. We pretty much always spend Passover with family. Either we go to them or they come to us, and I was really, really looking forward to going to them this year. So it really was a bummer that we weren't able to see them. But hopefully next year, or even sooner, we'll be able to get up there. But right now, that whole area, New York, New Jersey, it's kind of scary up there right now. I have family members who've been sick with it, and I have family members up there who are in quarantine, kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with them, and because they've been exposed. And so, yeah, it's some scary stuff, man. So, luckily in my area where we are in Texas, it's not so bad, but they're saying in a few weeks it really could be. So I'm just trying to be as careful as we can. But yeah, not traveling this year for Passover and not having any family come to us. It's going to be a little strange, not having anybody around, because we usually at least have guests that are friends. But anyhow, so yeah, cleaning the dishwasher there, that ends up getting so dirty. And I don't even know why that dishwasher gets so dirty and is just so hard to clean. But yeah, I'm just cleaning it with some stainless steel cleaner there, just trying to get it cleaned up. Maybe it's the area right next to the sink. I don't know. It's always messy. Okay, so I decided to go ahead and clean the cabinets next, just to really finish off that whole area. So I'm using Dr. Bronner's, and I put it in this squeeze bottle with some water to dilute it. And then I've just got this Scotch-Brite little scratchy pad thing. I don't know. It didn't have a package. I found it in the back of a cabinet and was like, oh, this is perfect. So I have no idea what it really is other than that it says Scotch-Brite. But that is perfect for getting all of the gunk off of these cabinets. This cabinet right here is always the worst because it's right next to the dishwasher. So when I'm loading the dishwasher, all the food stuff kind of gets in there. So I'm just really kind of scrubbing that off, and it still looks dirty, but what that actually is where the green paint has come off to show the primer underneath. So yeah, they use really cheap paint when they painted the kitchen in this house. But yeah, so our plan was to redo this whole kitchen really soon. We just purchased this house. We were renting it for, I don't know, like 6 years, and we just purchased it from our landlord. So yay, we're homeowners now. But we want to redo like everything in the house, and the kitchen, of course, is really high on the list because both my husband and I love to cook, and we spend just a lot of time in the kitchen in general anyways. So I'm, planning on redoing the kitchen. I'd really been slacking on a lot of the kind of general maintenance cleaning that I do in the kitchen, like periodically cleaning these cabinets off, because I was like, hey, we're just gonna get new ones, what do I care? But now with Passover coming, I always like to scrub down the cabinets before we kosher for Passover, just because you never know what kind of stuff is on there. They do get really dirty. My kids like to cook too, so yeah, stuff does get everywhere. So these top cabinets up here were a whole lot easier to do once I started scrubbing on those. I probably didn't even need that Scotch-Brite scratchy pad. What are they called? If you know, let me know in the comments, because I have no idea what that's called or how to find a new one on Amazon. But anyways, so I pretty much just needed to do the microfiber cloth on those upper cabinets, but I still kind of scrubbed them just to, because it made it a little bit quicker. It doesn't get as dirty up there. And then I started working on the Backsplash, just using the same Dr. Bronner's and water solution and that scruffy pad. And this area does get really dirty. The kids will toss dishes in the sink that need to be rinsed, and, just because they're too short to do it themselves, and food will splatter up. So yeah, it did need a little bit. So then I started working on cleaning the ovens on the other side of the kitchen, because I felt like I was pretty done on that side that I had started on. And when I started going over the ovens with the stainless steel cleaner and polish, I really just wasn't happy with the way that it was cleaning. So I went back to my multi-surface cleaner the Myers Clean Day and scrubbed it down with that first. And then I went back over it with the stainless steel cleaner to polish it up. And that worked out much, much better. I don't have any glass cleaner right now, which is kind of a bummer. And when I've tried to order it from the stores and things like that, they've been out. So I'm just using the multi-surface cleaner to clean the glass there on the oven. And hopefully I will get some glass cleaner soon. So even though I'm going to be running the ovens on the self-cleaning cycle tomorrow, and that will totally clean them up, I still wanted to go ahead and clean the inside. I opened the top one and we had used it to toast some bread this morning, so I decided that was still a little too warm to mess with. So I just went down to the bottom and I decided I would come back to the top oven later. So I just used the Easy Off and sprayed it in there, let it sit for a minute, and then I just wiped it down. And the bottom oven was really not so bad, so that cleaned up in about 2 seconds. The top one might need a little bit more, but like I said, we'll have to go back to that later. So then I started working on these other cabinets and countertops over here on this side, just kind of clearing everything off and getting the big crumbs off so we could get started kind of really cleaning on this side of things. And the oven, the stovetop. The stovetop always like really bothers me. It gets so dirty, and every couple weeks I give this a really solid scrub down, but it takes so much effort. It takes so much work. So I started by pulling all the pieces that could come off the stovetop, and I'm going to put all those in the dishwasher and run it on like a really heavy duty cycle to get those really cleaned up. If I feel like they need anything else, then I can scrub them, you know, in the sink later. So I gave it a quick wipe down just to get off the like big pieces of food that were there, which wasn't a whole lot. And then I sprayed it down with the multi-surface cleaner, just the basic cleaning spray to give it, you know, clean off whatever else I could after that. And then I went for my degreaser, my foaming degreaser by Zep. I love this stuff so much. I ended up using it all up today, so that is sad, and I'll need to find out how to get more of that. But I think they sell it at Home Depot, and with my husband in construction, he can still go and get that for me. So, but anyhow, started scrubbing that down with the microfiber cloths. I went through a ton of microfiber cloths today. And then when that really wasn't quite doing the trick, I grabbed some steel wool and then I just really went at it. And I just scrubbed and scrubbed and scrubbed for the longest time, trying to get off as much as I could. It takes so much work. I don't even know why it gets so bad, but it really, really does. But that's okay, because a lot of good food comes off of this stove, and I am really fortunate about that. One of the things that probably makes the most mess on this stovetop is that my husband will wrap eggplants in foil and then he will roast them on the grill, just basically directly on top of the flames here. And that just makes such a big old mess. So that's probably the bulk of that. But I really did the best that I could on this, and that's really about all that you can do. I definitely didn't get it all off, but I got most of everything off. But yeah, there's only so much you can do. So once I finished with that, I started clearing off the rest of this counter so that I could start cleaning down the rest of this counter and then work on the backsplash behind here. Because the stove is right here, it definitely does get a lot dirtier on this side, particularly the backsplash. And because we do a lot of, you know, I make fried chicken for the kids, or my husband will fry eggplant sometimes for different salads that he makes. So, you know, like I said, we use our kitchen a lot. We really rarely go out to eat. So it definitely needed a lot of scrubbing back there because there was a lot of like grease and oil and stuff up there on the backsplash. The more that I was scrubbing this backsplash, the more that I started to dislike it. I've never really liked it that much. I always kind of felt like it looked like white brick, and I don't know, I just never liked it. So doing this scrubbing on it today really, really made me not like it. And I can't wait to get new backsplash and new counters and new everything. I just hope it works. It's so uncertain right now with everything going on in the world. So I'm not sure if those house remodeling plans will change or if they will stay the same. So time will tell. Time will tell with everything. So anyways, I'm down here scrubbing the cabinets, and yes, I am kneeling on a knee pad. I have really, really bad knees, and they've really been bothering me a lot lately with the rain. I don't know if it's like arthritis or what, but they are achy and stiff and sometimes swollen. It sounds like arthritis, but I'm too young for that. It's not fair, but it's all good. So then I started working on the refrigerator. I have these really cool peel and stick. You just saw me peel off those. They're like magnetic, not really peel and stick. They're these magnetic whiteboards. And so I just put them on the side of a different fridge so I could clean off the front of this one. before I got in there. Now, I want to clean the fridge like really, really thoroughly. That's how I make my fridge kosher for Passover. It's just to clean it super duper duper thoroughly. So I have to empty it all first. So that is why I'm pulling everything out instead of just cleaning it. I really don't clean my fridge that often. It doesn't really tend to get too dirty. So unless something actually spills, this is basically the time of year that I will clean it. And yeah, I stole a snack. Those things are really delicious. They're these little like gluten-free cake bites, and yeah, can't get enough. All right, so yeah, grabbed my Meyer's Clean Day spray, my multi-surface spray by them, and I am just scrubbing away on the shelves and the sides and just everything inside of the fridge to get it just really as sparkling clean as I possibly can. I'm going to go ahead and pull out all of these side bins because they pull out so easily that I can just wash those at the sink instead of trying to spray them. I think they'll get a lot cleaner that way, and I'd really want to take them out anyways, like you saw, so I could clean the sides of the doors there. And then I went back and started cleaning the shelves again because you really can't be too clean. So then I'm over here at the sink and I'm just using dish soap to clean them just as though they were a dish, and just cleaning them up and rinsing them off so that they can go back into the fridge. It's a really fun time of year for me. I really enjoy cleaning, so it's kind of my jam to get ready for Passover. And it's always nice to have like this one day where my kitchen is just glimmering, sparkling, nothing on the counters. Everything is so clean because I always clean it the day before we kosher it, and then we kosher it, and then it becomes a big mess because we start cooking for Passover. But it's really fun. It's just a fun time of year. I am still really curious, though, how this year will turn out because we're used to going on trips in the middle of Passover. At least, I mean, just like to the zoo. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but just like getting out of the house as a family and doing fun things together. And we're used to having friends over. We're used to being with family or, you know, having family here. And just, it's just going to be very different. We're not allowed to have any guests this year. And we won't be going anywhere for any meals this year. And just, yeah. It'll be different, but I mean, the whole world is different right now. Clearly, I'm still processing. All right, so the oven has finally cooled down enough that I can work on this one. And yeah, like I had said, this one was dirtier. So then I sprayed it down with the Easy Off after I kind of wiped it out. And I used a few little paper towels on this, and they were all turning out black for a while. So once the oven was done, this is the last thing that I was doing in the kitchen today, is I wanted to really thoroughly clean the table and chairs. Because my kids are ages 2, 4, and 6, this area gets so messy. Now, you see me sweeping again, even though I just swept it in the morning, but my kids had been eating at this table all day because it's the only space in the house they're allowed to eat right now, because we're not using our dining room until we've officially turned over the kitchen for Passover. So I went ahead and gave it another sweep, and then I went in with the Meyer's Clean Day multi-surface spray and just started really scrubbing everything down with that microfiber towel. So we will be putting a tablecloth on this for all of Passover just to be on the super duper safe side, but I give it a good scrub down and all of that first. So another one of those kind of general kitchen-y, maintenance-y things that I like to do is to keep the chairs really clean. And again, I haven't been doing that lately because once I heard we were going to be staying here for Passover, you know, I just wasn't going to bother cleaning it until it got to be, you know, this day when I knew I would have to clean them. And also I usually would clean them on a Friday afternoon before knowing that we were going to have friends over. I usually have friends over on Saturdays and we play mahjong at this table, which is so much fun. Yes, I know I'm like an 80-year-old woman, but that's okay. But so when I knew they were coming over, I would always make sure this table and chairs were really spotless and clean so that, you know, the game wouldn't get dirty and we could all be really comfortable sitting, you know, in these nice clean chairs. Because yeah, kids get guacamole everywhere. But yeah, we haven't been having mahjong lately because of quarantine and shelter in place and whatever you want to call it. So they haven't really been getting that, you know, weekly scrub down. So I wanted to also clean the edges of the table. The table, again, you know, because my kids, they get their hands dirty and touch everything. The whole table gets really dirty. I didn't clean the base of the table, like the table legs. It's got that kind of pillar in the middle and then the legs at the bottom. I didn't do that today because my knees at this point had really pretty much had it. So I'll just do that tomorrow. I'll just add it to the list of things to do tomorrow. So flipping the chairs over upside down is a really fun trick because it gives you a different point of view on the chairs and you see a lot of things that you don't see otherwise. So that helps make them a lot cleaner.
That is a wrap. Thank you guys so much for coming along with me as I cleaned all day. I still have a lot to do tomorrow to finish getting this kitchen ready for Passover, but this was a really, really important step before tomorrow. Tomorrow, what I'll get to do is after everything sits overnight, I'll be able to kosher all the countertops, the sink, the stove, the oven, all those kind of things. And then our kitchen will be officially turned over for Passover. All right, so you guys take care. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys in my next upload.